So my oil pan basically is going to be accessed by lifting this truck up on jack stands, taking off this splash guard, and then once that splash guard is off, I'm going to have to, hold on, I'm trying to do this in order here. Disconnect the cross member, steering cross member, one of them. Just disconnect one of them. I've got to drain the oil. I should just drain the oil while it's right now. I'm probably going to end up doing that first, draining the oil first, because that's the easiest thing. It's already level, flat. Just drain the oil first, and then disconnect the stabilizer and do all this. And then once that's done, I have to drop the diff. And once the diff's dropped, I can get the oil pan out, because the oil pan's leaking badly. You can see there's a bad leak right there, and that's no good. It's no bueno. I don't like that. So yeah, and that's basically what I'm gonna be doing today. It's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I should be able to get it out. So okay, everybody, as you can see, I've taken off the splash guard, jack stand it up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back there and remove that sway bar linkage. I got to remove this. Another 10 minutes. Just remove that real quick, that bar, so that way everything drops perfectly. Once that bar is done for, I can drop that front diff. I don't know exactly how, but I know that you have to take off that bolt right there, and I think it does drop. I don't know if it's just that bolt. I gotta look it over. And then I gotta take off that steering linkage right there, top one. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm gonna remove these two bolts on this side and that side to see how far the sway bar linkage drops. And if it drops enough, I won't have to remove the sides. So just letting you guys know, everybody, that's how you remove the sway bar linkage. You have these bolts on each one of these A-arms, and then these two things right there. So yeah. Alrighty, guys. All I did was just unbolt those, the stabilizer bar. Yeah, I didn't have to actually unbolt the things on the A-arms. But you know what? Those bushings are cool because they let it bounce a little bit, because it's brand. That set right there is like brand new, like a year old. I just never replaced these ones when I did. So basically, yeah, it dangles down. Should be enough room for that thing to drop good enough to where I can get to the oil pan. So yes sirree, Bob, let's go. Okay, so drop the stabilizer bar, put the bolt back in. Like all the bolts that I've taken out, I've put back in. On the back over there, there's plates are dangling. I'm sure you can see through the shock absorber. Yeah, shock absorber right there. See that? The plate back there dangling. Yeah. Basically now what I got to do is it's supported on the jack stand. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take that bolt off, this one right here, and see what happens. It's like, yeah, so I'm doing this. This is a video for everybody who has questions on what to do when you have to take out your oil pan on a 4-wheel drive IFS Toyota pickup. So yeah, so I'm just about to drop it. It's firmly secure underneath it. I've made sure it's snug up against that, so that's holding the diff. And then yeah, let's take that bolt. Okay, I had to use two 19mm wrenches, or one 17, one 19, because I didn't have two. Yeah, on the bolt side, and on the nut side, and then on the bolt side, I'm gonna use this socket and a breaker bar and see what that gets me. Hopefully it's not seized. I should be able to try and get it. Otherwise, I should use penetrating oil. and see what happens. But yeah, so I'm gonna put you on the track. I don't know how to deal with wind today. I would have been perfectly fine. I was on my way, but let's see what this does. You hear that? Okay, everybody. I was wondering. I unbolted the front cross member, those 4 bolts, and I was wondering why it wasn't lowering again. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm unbolted everything, I thought. Well, you got to look around, because essentially it looks like these axles, these CV joints, go into those solid tubes on each side. It looks like they're just suspended there. You know, no. Turns out on either side of the differential, where the 2 motor mounts. Sorry, where the 2 motor mounts are, there's 2 bolts on each one. So let me show you exactly where each bolts are. They look a little bit, I'm sorry if they look a little bit crusty, but yeah, that's the reason why I got to do this. So you have 2 bolts over on that other far side over there. I'm sure you can see them. 2 bolts right there where that motor mount is. And then you've got 2 bolts attaching it to this motor mount right here. It's on the other side though. They're over there. So those 4 bolts should be keeping it in place. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna take those bolts off, and that should be all that's holding it in, because I mean this tube goes straight over and then just goes and attaches to the thing. So I think that those 2 bolts are just holding these tubes in place. So, or like this one in place, and then that one obviously, because it's over on the passenger side. So, but yeah, once I get this thing down, I should be able to get to the oil pan. That's it. That's all I'm doing. So, alrighty, let's do it. Okay, after so much crap just to get this thing off. Okay, first off, my front cross member must be tweaked or something, dude, because it does not want to lower. It'll only lower so far, that cross member right there, because it is not bolted in, but does not want to come off. Secondly, because of that, I could only lower the differential so far, and it really became a problem. Third, I wasn't following the rules at first, and so I suggest anybody that wants to do this same exact project, undo your pitman arm and your idler arm, so that way it's done for, you know what I mean? Because I got all the way to the end when we were struggling with the pan to get it out, and it basically would have helped to have that, because it was getting stuck on that. So one thing, the oil pickup tube, you have to unbolt that because it'll get caught on that. So once it drops a little bit, you can see where it's bolted on and everything like that. And so just yeah, unbolt it. Secondly, okay, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it was getting hung up on the crank. Here. See, you can see the crank. It was getting hung up on it, and so what I was told to do by my friend's dad is that you have to turn the crank if it's getting hung up on it, and see if that helps. And so I turned the crank to see if it helped, and yeah, that's what it did. Is that I got it to where it's flat like it is right now, and was able to slide it out because it was getting hung up on the rear. And so that's what I got to do right now. I got to just get, with what little sunlight I have left, at least get this pan back on, so that way it's not a problem getting everything else on at night, because I got to go to work tomorrow and I got to do this. So yeah, I'll see what's up, see how far I can get. But basically, yeah, so obviously the removal is the same as the installation, or the installation is the same as the removal. So yeah, that was basically what I had to do. Drop the diff and get everything, all steering linkages out in the front, so just let them dangle. And then yeah, that's what I got going right now. So hopefully we can get this pan on and it goes good without it leaking. Otherwise it's just, yeah, done for. So yeah, let me see what I can do. I'll clean it up and get some sealant on there and get it going. So okay, get back to you guys.